Explanation of Article 275 of the Indian Constitution. Article 275 is part of Part 12 of the Constitution, which deals with the financial arrangements between the Union and the states. It provides for grants in aid from the Consolidated Fund of India to certain states to address their financial needs and to ensure equitable development, particularly for scheduled tribes and scheduled areas. Key provisions. Grants in aid by Parliament, Clause 1. The Parliament can decide, through law, the amount of money to be allocated to specific states that require financial assistance. These grants are charged on the Consolidated Fund of India, which means they are not subject to annual approval and are a statutory obligation. The amounts can differ for different states depending on their needs. Development for scheduled tribes and scheduled areas, first proviso to Clause 1. Special grants are made to states for welfare of scheduled tribes, development of scheduled areas to bring their administration to the level of the rest of the state. Such grants require the approval of the Government of India. Special provisions for Assam, second proviso to Clause 1. Assam receives additional grants to cover historical expenditure. The average excess of expenditure over revenue for the 2 years before the Constitution came into effect, related to administering certain tribal areas specified in Part 1 of the 6th Schedule. Develop tribal areas to match the administrative standards of the rest of Assam. Autonomous states under Article 244A, Clause 1A. If an autonomous state is formed within Assam, grants meant for tribal areas, as mentioned in the second proviso, will either be allocated entirely to the autonomous state or shared between Assam and the autonomous state, based on a presidential order. Separate grants will be made to the autonomous state for its development, similar to other tribal areas. Temporary powers of the President, Clause 2. Until Parliament enacts laws under Clause 1, the President can exercise the powers to determine grants through an order. However, once a Finance Commission is established, the President must consider its recommendations before issuing any such order. Purpose and implications. Support for weaker states. The provision ensures financial support to states that lack adequate resources to meet their developmental and administrative needs. Focus on marginalized communities. Grants prioritize the welfare of scheduled tribes and the development of scheduled areas, ensuring social justice and equitable development. Flexibility and adaptation allows Parliament and the President to adapt financial arrangements as per changing needs and conditions. Special focus on Assam recognizes the unique challenges of tribal administration in Assam and provides specific financial support. This provision plays a crucial role in promoting balanced regional development and addressing disparities between states, particularly in areas with vulnerable populations. The Constitution of India. Part 12. Finance, Property, Contracts and Suits. Chapter 1. Finance. Distribution of revenues between the Union and the states. Article 275. Grants from the Union to certain states. 1. Such sums as Parliament may by law provide shall be charged on the Consolidated Fund of India in each year as grants in aid of the revenues of such states as Parliament may determine to be in need of assistance, and different sums may be fixed for different states, provided that there shall be paid out of the Consolidated Fund of India as grants in aid of the revenues of a state such capital and recurring sums as may be necessary to enable that state to meet the costs of such schemes of development as may be undertaken by the state with the approval of the Government of India for the purpose of promoting the welfare of the scheduled tribes in that state or raising the level of administration of the scheduled areas therein to that of the administration of the rest of the areas of that state. Provided further that there shall be paid out of the Consolidated Fund of India as grants in aid of the revenues of the state of Assam sums, capital and recurring, equivalent to a. The average excess of expenditure over the revenues during the 2 years immediately preceding the commencement of this constitution in respect of the administration of the tribal areas specified in Part 1 of the table appended to paragraph 20 of the 6th schedule, and b. The costs of such schemes of development as may be undertaken by that state with the approval of the Government of India for the purpose of raising the level of administration of the said areas to that of the administration of the rest of the areas of that state. 1a. On and from the formation of the autonomous state under Article 244a. 1. Any sums payable under Clause A of the second proviso to Clause 1 shall, if the autonomous state comprises all the tribal areas referred to therein, be paid to the autonomous state, and, if the autonomous state comprises only some of those tribal areas, be apportioned between the state of Assam and the autonomous state as the President may, by order, specify. 2. There shall be paid out of the Consolidated Fund of India as grants in aid of the revenues of the autonomous state sums, capital and recurring, equivalent to the costs of such schemes of development as may be undertaken by the autonomous state with the approval of the Government of India for the purpose of raising the level of administration of that state to that of the administration of the rest of the state of Assam. 2. Until provision is made by Parliament under Clause 1, the powers conferred on Parliament under that clause shall be exercisable by the President by order, and any order made by the President under this clause shall have effect subject to any provision so made by Parliament. Provided that after a Finance Commission has been constituted, no order shall be made under this clause by the President except after considering the recommendations of the Finance Commission.